It's been two tough away games in Yorkshire. We knew, and I think we expected these results. At least we come away with our heads held high. It wasn't 4-5-0 thrashings. We know we've got a depleted team at the minute. We've got Josh Sargent back and a couple of young guys on, so hopefully now we can move forward with the rest of the season with more players come back and hopefully pick some more points up and stay in touch with the playoffs.
What did you make of the performance? Did you think there were still some positives to take?
I think Leeds weren't as good as what we expected, to be honest. There were some positives. We had some good possession, but I think the problem is no attacking threat. There was nothing going forward. I know Josh came on, his first touch made an immediate impact, but we've just lacked any attacking threat, even with Boris Hines in these last few games for a couple of months now, which is worrying. And I can't see where the goals are coming from right now. It's all right having possession, but we've got no attacking threat.
What do you put that down to? Is that the players up there, or is it the system?
I think just lack of squad depth. I'm not sure about system. I think we've proven when the football's played right and we've got the players fit, we'll score goals. But how often have we had a team that we want to put out every week consistently for more than 3 games a season? Not many. And I think once you miss 2 or 3 players at the moment, given the amount of injuries and players we've moved on, we just haven't got enough squad depth.
Was there anyone who especially pleased you or disappointed you individually tonight?
That was disappointing?
Disappointing or pleasing? Anyone who stood out?
I don't know. It was just a 6 out of 10, to be honest, for most of the team, to be honest. I suppose highlights again, it's good to see young players coming on and getting a chance. More importantly, it's just good to see Josh getting more minutes. He needs to start on Saturday. He can't have another. I thought he'd start tonight. I don't know the reasons why he didn't. He needs to start Saturday.
What are your feelings about sort of the wider picture? Do you hope that Norwich can push for playoffs this season, or is that maybe too ambitious?
Look, you should never. I don't like projects and long-term things. I think, look, you live in the moment, right? So we don't know what 6 months holds. So you've got to look for the next game, and we've got to keep pushing for playoffs, haven't you? Know who's ever ready. We're not ready at the moment, but I don't think we'll make the playoffs, but I wouldn't write it out at the moment. It depends with fitness, and losing Nunes the other weeks just really not helped. So
you mentioned off camera the fact that I think this would have been your dad's last game, but he sadly passed away.
It's been really difficult. I used to be a student in Leeds. Dad used to come and visit me here. A lot of people know Dad over the years. We're Northern Canaries. My name's Mark. Dad's John Whitwood. I've got his last match ticket here. Dad died with cancer on Tuesday night. He was yellows through and through. Came home and away for 50 years. Shame they couldn't do it tonight for John, but we've got a lot of good memories to hold on to, and hopefully in the future the Yellow Army will make many more. And
So after full time at Elland Road ended Leeds United 2, Norwich City 0. Johannes Hoff tore up the side. Not exactly outclassed, it seemed. They were just more outworked. If it was a word, which it probably isn't, out-determined, that's how I'd describe it, really. Norwich just looked a bit devoid in terms of attacking ideas, and defensively was strong for the majority. Yes, Leeds did have a lot more of the chances and more shots on target, but that's not to say really Norwich were poor defensively. They did leave quite a bit of gaps, which pretty much leads to the first goal from Solomon within 32 seconds. It's throughout the majority of the game, I did notice it, especially in the first half. There was a lot of room for Jayden Bogle, Leeds right back, on that side, on the right wing, where he would just drift away and he'd make a sort of diagonal run in between Crescenny and Doyle, and he'd just exploit that space. And it wasn't him for the first goal, it was Dan James, but he made that exact run, and he got in behind Doyle, who just didn't have the pace to keep up. Pulled it across. There was Solomon. The second goal, it was a bit of a defensive mishap. I think Kellen Fisher, didn't need to keep the ball in play. It bowled up in the air, and he just headed it back in play straight to a Leeds player. believe it was Solomon that time who crossed it for James, who scored. 2 goals which may be avoidable, but when you consider the difference in points and league position, you can see why, based off performances like that. Norwich have now played the top 2 in back-to-back matches. They've not had a shot on target against either of them. That is poor. It is poor. Now, I'm not using this as an excuse to call for Johannes Hovtorap's head. I think that would be perhaps harsh, of course, because you can still say transitional season and that Norwich still are going through the motions and they've not exactly got the team that they want or, well, not really need, but they've not got the team that maybe everyone knows how to play in it. But based off what has been seen tonight as well, they just are starting to look really devoid. As I said earlier, they seem to be running out of ideas a little bit. But that's the difference when you play a team who are under a manager who is renowned for really good attacking, free-flowing football and heavy pressure. And Norwich ultimately just didn't have the matched quality. It was a mismatch in terms of that, and they paid the price. But a 2-0 defeat, perhaps fair and expected, but the manner in which Norwich went down, it wasn't expected, really. They didn't put up much of a fight, but they've got a nice sort of run in now of fixtures. But if they don't get points, questions arguably have got to start being asked. But still a long way to go. 6 points off the playoffs. Who knows what can happen? But for now, it's looking a little...
What you made of that today?
Poor.
Yeah.
Can't say anything more but poor.
What do you think went wrong?
I think
We didn't have a shot on target, the same as we didn't against
we
Sheffield
played
United.
backwards.
Yeah.
We played backwards.
Just no attack, is there?
Yeah.
We keep.
What do you put that down to? Is that the players on the pitch or is it the system?
I think it's a bit of both, the system and the players on the pitch.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to pick up the ball and actually run at the goal.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to just turn around and stand and walk the ball in the net. It's never going to work, is it, against a team like Leeds?
Was there anyone individually who especially disappointed you today? Anyone who stood out?
I think they're all as bad as each other, if I'm honest.
No,
Yeah.
but no. I think
Obviously there's a minor positive in the fact that Josh Sargent came back into the team, but did you want to see a little bit more from him? Maybe a bit more involved?
Yeah.
He's come on in 2 games and he's had 1 touch in 2 games.
Yeah.
No attack and flair and
I
nothing.
know.
Is that his fault or is it the lack of players around him sort of
I
creating
think
opportunities?
I think it's creativity. He's not getting the ball fed to him, is he?
Yeah.
That's the trouble.
Yeah, and what would you like to see sort of Norwich do about that? Do you think they need to go back into the market before the window
We
closes?
need another striker.
Yeah.
If Sargent gets injured again, we've got no chance, have we?
Yeah. And in terms of sort of the wider picture, what are your ambitions for the season? Do you think there's any chance of a playoff push
is
at all?
hopeful.
Yeah.
We just need a bit more discipline and we need to pick up the wins at home.
Yeah.
If we can win every home game, we'll be all right.
Yeah.
And get a point on the road, but it's just not happening at the moment, is it?
Yeah.